السلام عليكم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Special greetings to everybody. Mamo be konto. Gambia din kendo be albe dauda. There was a judgment delivered on the in the case of the former Auditor General Ahmad Gitteh versus the state. And I was very happy yesterday with some other national matters. As you all are aware, we have finance ministers from across Africa in the Gambia right now. Very big news. All the finance ministers of the 54 African countries are here, finance ministers. And we also have governors of central banks of all African countries. Central bank governors of all African countries are here in our country. World Bank, high-level representatives, Africa Development Bank, high-level representatives, IMF, International Monetary Fund, very high-level representatives are in the Gambia right now on a 3-day caucus to discuss about the economic situation, the investment possibilities, and free trade situations in our continent, hosted by His Excellency and the Minister of Finance, our Honorable Minister of Finance, Honorable Civic. And very luckily, we received a great man, Africa's richest man, Aligo Dangote, Aligo Alhaji Aligo Mohammed Dangote, was also here on the invitation of the President, His Excellency Adam Barrow, to deliver lectures. And yesterday was hosted to lunch at the presidency. And I am very happy with the outcomes of those. World Bank gave Gambia almost over $20 million just day before yesterday. World Bank approved $20 million to assist us, give us money. Dangote agreed to invest $2 billion US in this country. $2 billion in this country. A package that has never been brought into this country by any, and I repeat, any investor since Gambia got independence. To those that do not see Gambia as a country for all, and that the best for the Gambia is the best for everybody, may not be happy about this, but this is huge. And we are grateful, we are happy, and Allah willing, these things will impact the lives of every single Gambian, whether you support our government or not. While I was busy doing that, I read on Facebook from so many journalists regarding the judgment delivered by our great judges of the Supreme Court, the 5-member panel, as it will do. 5, and then if no satisfaction, 7. In the ruling, what I see very interesting, and not from the Supreme Court, is from the journalists, the people that wrote and gave us the story, the breaking news, the whatever, from online media. Supreme Court, ruled that former Auditor General's constitutional rights were violated. His constitutional or his removal was unconstitutional. But they said returning him back would be inappropriate, and he was awarded damages of $4 million and be receiving salary until his retirement. A lot of people, in fact, those that brought those stories are not happy because they felt Auditor General's removal, since determined to be or ruled to be unconstitutional, the Auditor General should have been reinstated. Now, there is something that is not said yet by the journalists that were in the court, and that is where the debate should focus on, in my opinion. I am not talking about the Supreme Court. I am talking about the society, because like one of my friends' lawyers said, according to realists in law, law is not written. The court is the law, or the courts are the law. So what the court says is the law, and not what is written in law books. I would like to believe that, because you can see something written in the Constitution, but Supreme Court judges will decide to say something else. I'm not saying this specifically to Gambia, I'm talking about in general. So my friend will always tell me, according to the realists in the legal world, law is the courts, or the courts is the law, and not what is written. Now, there is a fundamental part that confuses me in all of this. Now, the journalists are not telling you, and I'm going to break it to you. Now, after all the evidence were presented by the state, in the ruling, the Supreme Court accepted and ruled that yes, based on the evidence that is presented, the Auditor General, former Auditor General Modou Cissé, in fact, was appointed, was offered the role or the position of Minister of Trade. And indeed, according to evidence, he accepted his role as Minister of Trade and Industry and Regional Integration. Now, this is very important, and this is not, the journalists are not saying this. I know, of course, as the usual, you know, people will come and they will not listen. Now, I mean, they will say all sort of things, but I want you to listen to this very well. The Supreme Court ruled, yes, based on the evidence presented, the state is right. The state is right. Modou Cissé, former Auditor General, had indeed responded to the invitation by the President to State House. He was offered the role of Minister for Trade, and indeed he accepted to become Minister for Trade and Employment of the Republic of the Gambia. Now, that is where I'm stopping. And I'm confused. And again, I'm not in the law, and I don't say much when it comes to law. Legally, when you are in a role, two conflicting roles, for example, today I am an advisor to a minister. For example, I'm an advisor to a minister. Now, I cannot be an advisor to a minister and be a minister at the same time. You know that is not possible. I cannot be an imam, and I am the naibul imam. I cannot be a pastor, and I'm also deputy pastor. I cannot be president, and I am vice president. These are not possible, because these are two conflicting roles. You cannot occupy both at the same time. Now, the Auditor General's office is an office that is in conflict with any ministerial or executive position. You cannot be an Auditor General and at the same time be a cabinet minister. It's not possible. You cannot. Like you cannot be an interior minister at the same time be Inspector General of Police. I'm just giving you an analogy. So when you are an Auditor General and you are offered a position of a minister by law and you accept verbally, in writing, the moment you accept the role of a cabinet minister at the executive level, by law, you have vacated the position of an Auditor General. Ahmad, you are an advisor. Come. Yeah? Okay, now I'm appointing you Minister of Beautiful People's Affairs, or Minister of, Nice Boys Affairs. The moment I said, yes, Your Excellency, verbal, because by law, verbal agreements are accepted if there is evidence. Verbal agreements, you can discuss things verbally and agree. You have a lot of that. No law says, the only way to accept or do this is writing. They do so that evidence is easy to trace and have it on record. But verbal agreements are agreements and are binding by law. There's no problem in you and I say, okay, we agreed, I will build your house. Okay, when I build your house, you'll pay me $5,000. And then you give me $5,000 and I refuse to build your house. When you go to court, you'll have a problem because you have agreed. It's not supposed to be just written. Now, the Auditor General went to State House and Supreme Court, again, I'm not saying Gitteh or Minister of Justice or President that is saying that. The Supreme Court in this ruling says, yes, the Auditor General has indeed accepted the appointment as a minister. And that very day, when he accepted his appointment, the President gave him a letter of appointment. You understand? Another person, that is the new Auditor General, after he accepted the appointment, was also called in and his appointment was given to him. Just like the President one day has moved Defense Minister from Ministry of Defense to Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the case of Seri Modou Njie, and that same day the President has moved Minister for Trade Baboucarr Ismaila Diouf from Ministry of Trade to Ministry of Defense at the same time. The moment Seri Modou Njie accepted Minister for Foreign Affairs, his position as Minister of Defense is null and void. Baboucarr Diouf left Ministry of Trade and was appointed Minister for Defense. Why would I be considered to have violated the Constitution when my argument that indeed I have appointed X and he has accepted his appointment? How do I violate the Constitution? How do I violate your rights? Hello, yes, come. Okay, I want to make you Minister of Trade. Oh yes, I accepted. Congratulations to you. Hello, you are now the new Auditor General. The Auditor General is now Minister for Trade. You went out a whole day. The following day you came and you said you don't want to be. That is my confusion. You are appointed and the court, the most important court says, yes, Modou Cissé, lawyer Lamin Dabo, there is evidence that yes, the President has appointed your client, Modou Cissé, and Modou Cissé has accepted. It was after he accepted that he declined. But then by then, somebody else is appointed Auditor General. Now, if you guys believe that Auditor General should not be removed, they have invited former Auditor General Modou Cissé and gave him an appointment later. He left. At the same time, the other guy came in and they appointed that guy. Now, if you guys really believe in the Constitution, why would I remove Or why would the new Auditor General that is there, Mr. So, why would that person be removed and this guy be reinstated, for some of you that are talking? And how do I violate the Constitution when there is evidence that indeed I have appointed this guy and he accepted the job? And effectively, he has now become the Minister for Trade, not an Auditor General. How have I violated your Constitution? I am so confused. I am so confused. Again, I'm not saying Supreme Court is lying. I'm not saying they are. I respect and I value the Supreme Court. I don't know. So, you know, I don't know what is happening. You know, I mean, you know, I'm sure lawyers are there. There'll be a lot of arguments in the coming days. But we are putting it out there as citizens. You have your views. Some people are not happy. Some say he should be reinstated. I mean, they are very angry. For me, I'm confused. Because, you know, when you accept as a judge that indeed this guy is appointed and he has accepted his appointment by law, I don't think there should be any other discussion about the matter. But hey, it's our country, it's a democracy. We can all healthily, and again, healthily discuss and argue about the state of affairs of our country. And, you know, for me, I'm confused. You know, I'm confused. If you accept your job as Auditor General, as Auditor General, you accept your job, a new job as Minister, I am the appointing authority. I have appointed somebody in your position. If you come back after that and decline, you go home. You go home and sit there. You go and enjoy another life. Because I have given you a job you accepted, and I cannot leave that other job vacant. I put somebody else there. After I put someone there, you came back and say you decline. Okay, no problem. Don't go to office. Go away. Now, if you decline and you go back to the office and you say you are not going to leave my office that I have appointed somebody to be in, I will remove you. Now, if that forceful removal is translated as violation of constitutional right and manhandling and damages, with all due respect, Supreme Court, sir, it's your call. Like I said, in the realist world view, in the legal world, the court is the law. It's not the other way around. You have the Constitution written, but the court can say, no, this is what the Constitution says. Even if it didn't say that, when the judges say that is right. That is actually the thing. But me, that's what I'm confused about. And I hope we have the Bar Association lawyers. We all want to learn about something. Again, I'm not arguing, you know, that the Supreme Court is wrong or right. I'm confused as a citizen. And for those who are not happy with that, please leave my Facebook. You know, I always tell people, you know, you are at liberty to go make Facebook Live. You are at liberty to go and write whatever you want to write. Me, I am Ahmad, a Gambian like you, a citizen, educated, from a family, from a house, you know, with rights and responsibilities. You cannot go and write on your wall what you want. And I'm talking to those of you that are coming here to say things. You know, I have seen a lot of you. You are regular insulters. You come and insult, you come and say all kinds of things. I can block you, and you will not have the ability to watch me again. But you know, sometimes you reason with human beings, with 5 common sense, especially for people that are either Muslims or Christians, and they pray 5 daily prayers. You know, you have your Facebook. You can go and write your opinion about the Gambia, about anything. And it's your right. It's guaranteed in the Constitution. But the same right your fellow citizen Ahmad Gitteh has. So if Ahmad Gitteh also goes to his wall and say what he wants to say, as bad and as foolish as you may think that is, respect Ahmad Gitteh's rights. You don't have to insult him. You don't have to call him names. You don't have to say things that are, in fact, a lot of people will watch this. Like thousands watch me. Sometimes you don't see my Facebook details, insights. Sometimes 100,000 people will see it, come and check what I have written. Sometimes 150,000 will come and check. And you know what happens? Some of them go through all the comments you have made. Some of you, what you write here will be here. And me, I keep telling people, because tomorrow you may need Gitteh, you will need me. Some of you, in fact, will come down. Like the other day, somebody came and said, Gitteh, I want you to help me. The person was insulting my mother 3 weeks ago. He came and wrote to me, and I sent him that screenshot. Billah wallah ta'ala, just 3 days ago. He genuinely needs my help, and I sent him that message. Bro, I didn't respond to you. The other day I was talking here about my party. I didn't insult anybody. I say we will win an election. You insulted my mom. It's the screenshot is here. Now you want me to help you. And he started begging for forgiveness. Now be careful with what you write. Be responsible. I'm giving an example. So this is my views. Lawyers, help us. How do I violate somebody's constitutional rights? If I have offered this person nicely a job and he accepted, and I gave him a letter, and his former position, I appointed someone else there, and he refused after the appointment of a successor. He wants to come back and take that job. Now I'm the appointing authority now. The law gives me power to appoint anybody. Now, if he had refused from the start, refused, and this is not me or you, gentlemen, this is the court, Supreme Court said, Mamadou Cissé, former Auditor General, had indeed accepted his job as Minister of Trade. Now, alafon, nita mu ita talom company, ye HR manager sort, ye IT officer sort, ye admin officer sort, ye auditor sort, audit officer. Sa ila auditor, ni ate pusando ila company, ifa wala company. I'm giving an example. Ye la auditor ke finance manager or director of finance. Anate la office nga ko ika ko, I'm going to make you director of finance. He said, thank you very much, sir. I am happy. I accept it. Yala later or dial. Ye modo bondi nang admin. The same day, ye o sambana. Ye ka sambete la kela auditor design in the company. Ye o fanala later dial. Iko ibe congratulations. Mimbe no auditor yale yake finance manager di sama the following day. Anate la officer ako ha yen palaso dinalde. But tonya. Ntete nyim palaso tano la de. Lafta yamurundi auditor yala mbetula olto. Ayatare new auditor tombo. I mean, if I order dinga auditor tombo. I'm telling you what the Supreme Court is saying. Say kaya nga auditor tombo ne already de. Adu auditor buka bondi wanyama. Nta bondi no la say. Nga audit. Iko atekela. Mba. Ntele munu auditor di. Itele ka molto mo. Bari mba mbe muru na auditor yala. Apuka ke wanyama ko. That is what happened. And Supreme Court tonyalem mansa kundai mimfo tonyalem Mamadou Cissé tata baro yale evidence ye meet and the later o aning kuma kaunu sedo ye mimfo Mamadou Cissé has nobody to prove otherwise. He cannot back his evidence. And state produce evidence, material evidence. Kafoko yes, Mamadou Natale President wa Palazzo dialale, ay Palazzo acceptle, President wa congratulate a findita tata. Ni findita tata luato sai, imanke auditor general. Ni keta Minister of Trade abanta. Ite kelano auditor general this minute, and at the same time Minister of Trade, because these two by law are conflicting positions. Not even 1 second, anybody can hold the two together. Bankola luat it at a kenola. ite kenola Auditor General de Gambia jang. At the same time, yeke minister ate kenola. Luata kenola, obuka ken. Ebe kela kilineti, luato. So ni nata, ibe Auditor General yale te kenola minister. Barnier minister yata iko ha, nsonda minister la. Ye ota the second, the moment iko ha, nsondal. Hanna tumema later o dile ko nsondale. Ite kenole abanda that second, you are no longer an Auditor General. That is the law. Law muwalti. Say, Supreme Court ko, yes, Momodu Sise Tata State House, the former Auditor General, President Kayako left take la Ministry of Trade. Isondale ba? Ako ha asondale. Ada kontanda ba? President we later ota ako yo, Chief of Staff, ala later odia. Alaji Sise Chief of Protocol, ala later odia. Yala later odiala as Minister of Trade yata. Luata te amanke Auditor General te kotek. Wo palaso tatale sai. Because ate palace fulo tano la sinya kile. Ayata ate jita duma afintita. President a new man called Ahmad Gitteh. Akai lafte ke la Auditor General led. Auditor General nyin sai nga tombo ne nga ke minister. Isondal ba yeke Auditor General tiba. So kai han sondal. Iyo fanana later chika ya dial e kai congratulations. Ibe said. Wo samu Auditor General Momodu Sise Murundana ko president we yanki jele de. Supreme Court accepted ko wale keda. Say ni o keda dia mu kote tije moro ye palaso dila la ni tata la say. Bari ye modo le kije kote. And I've heard Lamin J. Dabo. Lamin J. Dabo said, yes, Auditor General's office is an independent office. It's an office that should be respected and valued. Yes, we agree. And that is why when Momodu Sise went back to State House, after he had become Minister of Trade, to tell the President, I want to remain as Auditor General, the President said no, because we agree with what Lamin J. Dabo said. We have a new Auditor General already. We cannot remove him because that place is an independent place. So what is the problem? Why are we insulting the government? What wrong has the government done? And I'm confused again and again and again. Ninta munakinta mimira. Auditor General Namu. Sedo. Dalilo mimbelarin jang. Ha. Itata president yala de. A dalilo fe. Dalilo natal. Adun kabirita ada je. President we palaso dile sondal de. Ha. Sain kabiri sonda. E manke Auditor General ti kote ke luwato. Ni findite na de ko be Auditor General yake la kote ke luwate wote luwato ye modo le kije. Diamo nyanda banawol. Bari ala constitutional right jumale violator sa. Which one? Or he went to the office, the police forcefully removed him. Why would you go to someone else's office? You are no longer an Auditor General. Why would he go and sit in the office of an auditor, an Auditor General that the President has already appointed? Why would you go there? Because by law, you are a Minister of Trade. You are no longer Auditor General. I'm confused. Assalamu alaikum.